today I'm going to be showing you how to make a good and simple thumbnail with Ibis Paint X and Gotcha Club or Life. First, make a new layer, press the plus button, and there you go. And then I drop the color of the Gotcha character's hair and make strands. I'm not sure how to explain it, but I think you can kind of see it. Use dip pen hard and make it small so it looks nice, because the bigger you make it, the chunkier it looks. And also kind of make them overlap. So as you can see, yeah, overlapping makes it a lot nicer, and do that for each character in the thumbnail. I do want to say that it's harder for characters that have ombre hair instead of like one color. As you can see for Marinette's hair, I had to individually get each color and make sure it didn't look too chunky or weird. And the next thing you want to do is make an ad layer for the eyes. So you want to use the magic wand and take all the parts of the eye, not counting those like white dots, the highlights, because we're going to go over those with another layer soon. Do this for every character in the thumbnail. Now you want to take felt tip pen hard. I dropped the darker part of your the character's eyes, or just like the character's eyes, and make kind of half ovals around the. I'm not really sure how to explain it, but I think you can kind of see what I'm doing. And don't worry if it looks too chunky or to mishappen, because we're going to be adding a blur effect later. And you can also add this to make it look better, but we're going to be blurring it anyways, so it doesn't really matter, honestly. Okay, so now we're pretty much done with doing that for all of the eyes, and the next thing we're going to be doing is taking the blur pen or brush and make it a bit light and kind of just wave it over it. So the lighter you do it, the more it'll look like that shape, and the more you do it, it'll probably just look like a simple highlight. So as you can see, it does kind of look nice. I prefer it. You might not like it. So now the next thing we're going to be doing is making another ad layer, and oh yeah, there it is. So use the star pen and make kind of like in the bottom of the eye. Make sure it's small. So next thing you want to do is make another ad layer, and this is kind of optional. I think it looks better. So take felt tip pen hard and just kind of make little streaks or lines like that. You don't really have to do this. I like this because it looks nicer, but you don't have to do it. Okay, so now just remove the selection that you had for the eye and make another ad layer. And this is going to be for that white spot that I said that we were going to do the normal highlights. take white and kind of just fill them in. It doesn't have to be perfect. So now go onto this layer so you can actually see it. Set the brightness to about like 50-ish%. It actually depends on how you would like it. I personally like it on like 50, 49-ish%, 48-ish, 50, yeah. I don't really like it to be too dark, but you also need to see the eye highlights. Don't clip it. And then kind of make a circle that's kind of beyond like the highlights. You don't actually need to do this because you already did the rest of this and those highlights. I do this sometimes just to see how it looks. But obviously it's not going to look very good since their hair is covering their eye. So basically this is optional, so I'm just showing you how you can do it. Then erase it to make kind of like a cross shape in the middle. I think you've probably seen this before in like soft edits. And then kind of set it to like a low opacity, to like 47%, I guess. And then make a new add layer. And I deleted that layer for some reason. And then you want to erase the ones that I don't like. So right here, I don't like the ones that Lila has. So I think I'm just going to keep one for Chloe, because I think it looks pretty good. So then you want to go to the normal layer, the first layer, set filter, and go to blur, zoom I think, set the strength to the highest, and center radius also to the highest. So yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. So the next thing that you're going to want to do is make a new layer for the blush. So you want to magic wand all the cheek area. And I usually already have a color that I use for blush, so I accidentally set that to add. Wrong layer, forgot to make a new one. And as you can see, kind of make it look like a clown for the nose, but not really. And I have like this kind of peachy reddish color that I use for blush. And then blur it so, you know, it doesn't look like a clown anymore. And that's kind of it. I usually make it like tone it down. Next, you want to go to pixelspeechbubble.com. I think that's what it's called. I'll put the link in the description. And type the name of your meme or what the character is saying. So I recommend you don't actually put meme in the speech bubble because that's not very good looking. So then take a screenshot of it, because downloading does not work on iPads, I think. It doesn't work for me. And then go back to Ibis Paint X. Besides that character, you can also put the other character's thoughts. Or you can, so first I'm just going to be testing out, see how it looks in normal font. So you don't always have to put Pixel Speech Bubble. You can sometimes try using others. I usually use this font the most because I really find it pretty. And yeah, it doesn't really look nice right now. I mean, if you like it, sure, but I don't really like it, so I'm just going to be deleting it. And now you can also add the other character's thoughts, so I recommend doing it in like a different font because I'm going to be deleting the people with cancer aren't pretty and replace it with speech bubble, as you can see. And I'm going to be adding Chloe's thoughts now too. I feel like thoughts also make it look a bit better. Put the text above their head or like near them so people can actually see that's the character's thoughts and that's what the characters think or are saying. Then rasterize the layer, so click on filter, and then set a really small glitch effect. So as you can see, maybe like 1 or 2 pixels. So you can duplicate that layer and then flip it. Then take the lasso and make sure it kind of looks under the text. I actually used to do this for my thumbnails a lot, but I don't really do that anymore since I usually just use the Pixel Speech Bubble now. Then set the opacity low so it kind of looks like a shadow or a mirror. I think that looks pretty cute. And you can also set the glitch effect on that a bit higher. In the Pixel Speech Bubble, so yeah, there you go. And then you want to get rid of the background. Also the shadow does not look very nice. Use lasso to get rid of the parts that you can't manually take. And then kind of set it to a place where people can read it, because there'll also be times like how long the video is on the corner. So I recommend not putting it like the very corner. You can also add a glitch effect to this. I don't really do that. And right now I'm just going to recenter it. To be working on the border, so make another layer under the words. Make sure it's an add layer. And now choose a glitter pen, it's near the bottom. Choose one and then kind of just apply it around the edges and the border of the picture. Then you can choose the other glitter, and you can also choose some sequin pens. Those look really good too, and make sure it's all white. Personally, star looks the best. Personally, I also like to use Prism Ring. I use a really bright color for that, so the rainbow is bright, and then I kind of just apply it around the corners. I use Prism Ring to add more color to the corners. I'm going to add some hearts around. You don't actually need to add hearts, sometimes I don't. And then also use pointillism or scuttering for more dots. You can add more to your border, of course, because there are lots of chains and leaves and flowers. Also try to make your border unique, because I know a lot of people just copy Teenage's thumbnails, like how she does her borders, and it doesn't look very unique or original. So I tend to use different types of flowers and different pens that I haven't seen anyone else using, so my thumbnails stand out from others. And copying is never good. Also try to make sure it looks kind of evenized and it doesn't look too tacky. So yeah, that's what the prism ring looks like in close-up, and go back to the normal layer, and now you're going to be adding the glitch effect. Make sure it's kind of small, and if you're wondering, I have no idea why I zoomed out that much, sorry. So yeah, now I'm just going to be coloring the words in, so pretty pink because we're stereotypical here. And now I'm going to be, so basically I feel like you should color the words that you want to stand out more, or like kind of the main theme of your story. So for example, the main theme of mine is that people with cancer are pretty. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I hope this helped you make your thumbnails. Bye!